Okay, there we go. How's it going, everyone? Thanks for joining in. I can see 5 people in. That is awesome. Yeah, we're starting a new project, my friend and I, and this is gonna be a pretty cool one. So I'm gonna give you a little backstory. The Queen, what's up? Yeah, I'm gonna give you a little backstory. I created a new Discord community, and I needed an RSS aggregator to post to my server, right? So I think I have like, I don't know, tens of feeds that I'm subscribed to, and I want to share them with, my community. So I came up with this idea, and in my Discord, Darko went in and like, hey, we can actually build this because I need it for my community as well, because he runs a Discord server. And Richly, thanks for the follow. And yeah, we were like, why don't we just build it and use it in our own servers, right? So yeah, as I mentioned, I'm gonna be building this with a guest. So let's bring Darko in. There we go. What's up, man?
Hello, hello, hello. Hey, everybody. Nice being
Nice.
here.
Excited for this project?
Oh, very much so. Yeah, this is one of the cooler stuff I got to build like quite a while now. So, yeah, I'm very much looking forward to experimenting on this. And hopefully something cool comes out on the other end.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, in this episode, I think we're just going to take the better route and plan ahead, right? So we know what we're gonna be doing. Yeah, and what I got for y'all today is of course Excalibur. So Darko and I will be we'll try to basically put everything together. Full disclosure, we haven't practiced this. We haven't thought anything more, so we're just gonna we're just gonna do this raw.
We're just gonna wing it and hopefully like we have something to show for it in the end.
Yeah, we have to have something to show for it.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. All right. So RSS Discord bot, right? We are going to be building an RSS Discord bot. What do we need? We're gonna need we're gonna need, of course, the backend because
Sure.
it's pretty much gonna be only the backend. So
Yeah.
we need a server for the bot.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to need a cron function that executes on, I don't know, n on every n minutes.
Some API keys, I suppose, from Discord.
Oh yeah, Discord app. I think you need to create like an app.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
Yeah,
they give you some SDK and stuff that's already in part of their GitHub repo example. There's
yeah,
some really good stuff in there.
right. So we have Discord. We have every n minutes the RSS parser library, and I think we already found one, if I
Yeah,
remember correctly. Yeah, we don't care about it right now in this stream, so we'll start implementing it. That's when we pull it up. But yeah, we need the parser library, so we don't just do that by hand. And what else? What else do we need?
I think that's pretty
I
much
think
that. Yeah,
that
and probably some API shape, let's call it, in terms of like what messages our bot gets to parse. Maybe it's a good idea to predefine those for like the first version or whatever.
yeah. I was thinking that would be the server or like
Oh,
an
okay.
API for the bot, right? Because we'll have the API routes inside of this entity, and then we'll have a cron function that will actually use the bot, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
we'll
that makes sense.
we'll expand on that. So let's actually start with that.
Sure.
So
Let's
we'll
go.
start with the API, right? We're gonna need from the commands. We're gonna have let's say slash subscribe and then the feed URL, right?
Yeah, that works. Or maybe we could just go with the URL of the page because like feed URLs tend to be sort of standardized at standard paths. So maybe just the URL would suffice for the
Oh,
page.
You mean like at bot URL, something like that? Like
Yeah.
tag the bot or do a slash command?
No, a slash command is fine, but I meant like you don't have to do the full URL with the, let's say, slash rss.xml, because those tend to be standard across like most pieces
Right.
of the internet.
Okay, so we'll do subscribe, and then the instead of URL, we'll just do the domain, right?
Yeah, basically that.
Awesome. We want to do a list, right? Of course, this will add the feed to the, I don't know, subs list. Then we have a list. Basically just print out all of the subscribed feeds. And
Yeah.
we need that for the third command, which is unsubscribe.
Yeah.
And how do we do that? Do we unsubscribe on like a number, or do we unsubscribe on the domain? I think it's better if we do domain, right?
Domains are probably better because those are going to be deterministic anyway. Like domains are guaranteed to be unique when you subscribe, so
yeah,
that should be probably better.
Right, so it's good to have the list. Initially, I was thinking like maybe the the bot will be like, okay, one nikoloflazar.com, right? Then two beerjs.com, for example, right? And then we do slash unsubscribe one, which will unsubscribe Nicola of Lazar. But actually, if we're keeping only the domain and not the full URL, then it's better if we just do unsubscribe nikoloflazar.com and be on our way.
It's a bit more involved to type it out, but it's more safe. It's, you don't running the risk of messing up with IDs or numbers or whatever. So
yeah, cool. So let's actually do that. In terms of commands, I think these three will basically, it will be the MVP, right?
Yeah, one thing I
it would
thought
be
about,
nice.
maybe, or I'm not sure whether it's a good idea to add a refresh in there to basically trigger a manual refresh, or do we want that?
We can do that, right?
Because it's easy and simple. Probably it's not going to be a huge engineering time investment. So no.
Yeah, refresh feeds, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is not gonna take any arguments, right?
Yeah, just raw refresh. That's it. Maybe we get to improve it later with something more fancy.
Awesome. Okay, so we got the commands. Let's figure out the backend, right? Or like what are we gonna use?
Yeah, let's go.
So here's the stack. I was thinking we use fly.io. Have you deployed on fly.io?
Yeah, once before. It's easy, it's fun.
Yeah,
why not?
I haven't done a lot of deployments on fly.io, so I think it could be cool to use it. But if you have more experience than me and you want to use something else, do let me know.
No, okay. It's cool. I mean, I don't really have any hard religious opinions about infrastructure and stuff. So fly.io is cool, and we're going with that.
Awesome. All right, so we're gonna do fly.io for the backend, of course. I guess Node.js.
Yeah, for sure.
Node.js. We're gonna have two projects, right? One for the cron and one for the. Actually, why do we need two? Do we need two projects?
I don't think we do. I mean, even if we decide to go, that hardcore like serverless and Lambda route or whatever, we don't really have to split it in two. Basically, a timer function is all that we need, either ingrained if the platform allows it, or something that the serverless offering itself would do. So either works, and it doesn't have to be two. I think we could go with one.
Right. So we can just add it to the Node.js API project that we're gonna be building, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So in terms of DB, we wanna do Postgres. We wanna do, I don't know, SQLite. I've seen I've seen
Yeah.
Remix is doing SQLite, which is I only
Yeah,
use
I
that in
mean,
Android.
yeah, no, yeah, for sure. But like, consider this: if you're not doing that many writes, which we won't,
Yep.
like SQLite is the perfect solution here. It's lightweight. You don't need a server. It's
Yeah.
basically, a file with benefits. So it's just cool for this use case. Actually, the first thought that popped into my mind when we chatted about this was this is perfect for SQLite. So we should probably go with it.
Yeah. So let's go with SQLite, and of course, we're gonna go with Docker. So we're gonna Dockerize Node.js. We're gonna add the SQLite as like a volume. I'm gonna need a lot of help here because I don't do Docker. So I believe you do way more than me. So yeah, I'm
Oh
gonna be
heavens, you're
relying.
you're losing that bad because while I'm, Docker literate, let's call it that, I'm trying to stay away from infra as much as possible personally. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Don't worry.
We'll figure it out. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Okay, so yeah, we got Docker, we got Node.js, we got SQLite. Cool. What else do we need? Do we need? We already created the repo, right?
Yep.
So let me just share that with the chat. Curious Coding Creatures /RSS to Discord. Maybe we need a name.
Oh yeah, for sure. The hardest
Maybe we-
name in computing ever.
Yeah, we actually need a name.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, we created a whole new GitHub organization. So we'll be putting all of the projects that we build in this community here. So that's cool. Okay, we got the stack, we got everything. What else do we need? Do we feel like what are the uncertain? What are like the rest of the uncertainties?
Okay,
How do we
so
proceed?
let's maybe think about functionality and the user story part of this. How do we interact with the bot and maybe build backwards from there, perhaps?
Yeah.
So what happens when we do a subscribe? Write a
Okay.
command, basically. A request goes out to the server and so forth. Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay, so we'll do subscribe. This is way too large, right? Let's do
Yeah,
this.
we could probably go smaller. We'll have a lot of those boxes, I imagine.
Okay.
So
we gotta subscribe. So this happens within Discord, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to hit our API handler, right?
Yeah, we could just call them identical to the commands that we have defined there. So it's fine for simplicity's sake. And
line, what the hell? 5.
And the payload there would be the URL of or rather the domain of the thing we want to subscribe to.
Yeah, so we're sending the feed domain to the actual API handler, and that basically puts it into the database, right? It doesn't actually, do we want to do anything functional, like send anything the moment we add the feed? Maybe we should.
Yeah, we want to discover the feed because like at that point there are, let's say, like maybe 20-30 variations, but usually those are part of the sitemap anyway. And these sites, let's say like 98% of them already come with sitemaps, and the sitemap always has the RSS route defined. So the first thing is that we want to discover where the RSS feed lives, so that we can store that in the database. And on the following run of the cron thing, that thing gets scrolled, and then we show new articles in our Discord.
Yeah. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna expand on this. And we're going to add the text here. So this is our API handler, right? First, we wanna discover the feed, right? Because we, as you mentioned, we need to find the actual feed. Sometimes it's like /feed, sometimes it's like
it's like
.xml,
sometimes
there's
it's like
Atom as well.
There's RSS.xml or either other creative name, but still it's usually a part of the sitemap, so it should be fine.
There we go. So first we discover the feed, and then you mentioned what happens next. What do we do next?
Next, we store that in our SQLite database under the domain record. First on the first run, or I'm not sure whether that should be the order. Do we first store the domain that we want to get the feed for, or do we store it after we get the actual feed URL?
I would do this. So I would grab the domain, try to discover the feed, and then we branch here.
Mm-hmm.
So when we hold on, if we're branching, I would rather do something like this. Let's see if I can manage. There we go. So this is the API handler, right? So we'll just get inside. So first, as you mentioned, discover the feed.
Yeah.
That would be like the first thing that we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
After that, when there's the case of does it exist or not?
Yep.
Because we probably should return something back in the channel.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you
Right,
mean like
so-
sort of a response that the
Yeah.
process of subscription has started or whatever.
Exactly. So in case, I'm gonna put it on the right side. In case it doesn't exist, or it can't find it, because I've seen cases where I'm adding the RSS, but for example, I don't know, in Mi6 it couldn't find Adam Argyle's RSS, but I can
Mm-hmm.
see it in my reader app,
Right.
So we need that feedback, that we can't find it. So, maybe try adding like a full URL. So maybe we also need to accept anything, like either a domain or a full URL
Yeah,
as a
you're right.
fallback. Yeah.
You're right. I
So-
mean, there's no reason we shouldn't accept both. If we get a full URL, then we just, test
Yeah.
whether it works, write it as it is. Otherwise, we try to discover it. And if it doesn't
Exactly.
get discovered, return feedback that something's broken with it.
Cool. So let's actually do that first. So instead of domain, we're just gonna get the URL, whatever it is, right?
And
First-
then we realize we try to understand what the URL is based on the extension.
Exactly. Yeah. So based on the extension, if it's like first we just need to I don't know, check the figure. Damn it, I need to zoom in. There we go. Figure out the URL type.
Yeah.
Right, so we could have just two branches here. If the URL type is just a domain,
Mm-hmm.
we'll do something else. Otherwise, we'll do something else.
Yeah.
And we are drawing the hell out of these diagrams. Okay, so this was
will
the
turn more complicated than we thought, wouldn't it?
yeah, but it's good that we're doing this, right?
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
So we were figuring out the URL type. If it's a if it's a domain, we need to discover the actual URL.
Yep.
Then we could be met with another branch here. If we can discover it or if we can't discover it.
Yeah. And
And
in case
same
we can
goes
discover
here.
it, error back.
Yeah. So let's see. How do we draw this? Discover the actual URL. We actually need a diamond in this case.
Yeah, once again.
Yeah. Can I lock this?
Not sure.
Doesn't look like it. Would have been cool if I can just lock it and... Okay. So here's the branch. Right here. If we can discover it or not. If we can't, we need to reply back.
Yeah.
right? If we can, then we're going to merge with the output of this,
Yes, because it's essentially the same process past
it's the
that
same
point.
process. Yeah. Cool. So, damn it. There we go. So this is going to be the exists. This is going to be the exists case where we can.
Yeah.
Damn it. T. There we go. URL is this cover. What the hell? We have discovered the actual URL. We'll just have success. We'll keep it. We'll keep it clean. Okay, so if it's successful, we have the actual URL. And we want to do something here, but we're going to merge that, with this process.
Yeah.
And we'll figure that out later. But if we can't discover, you have a locket. Dude, look, let's see. Oh, there we go. Nope. Select, lock, unselect. Oh, this is the selected tool after drawing. Okay, it's not gonna. Doesn't matter. But it would be cool if you can like look at.
Yeah, maybe we'll figure it out for next time.
Yeah. In the next episode, we'll know. We'll definitely know how to lock it. Okay, if it's successful, we'll do something, and I'm gonna put this here. There we go. In case if we don't discover the actual URL, I believe we need to reply back to the server, right?
Yeah, something to the tune of no URL found, maybe provide a manual or a full URL to the feed or something like that.
Yeah.
In case it's a non-standard path or it broke or whatever, strain neutrinos or whatever.
Can't. I'll just say reply back in Discord. Can't find URL. Try pasting the full URL.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this will be a branched as well, but we're not gonna branch it here because it's just like a, the value. If for example the type was just a domain, we'll reply can't find the URL. Try pasting the full URL. But if the domain is like a full URL, then I mean, of course, judging by the the actual diagram that we have, it's never gonna get inside. But
yeah,
we're gonna try that. Okay.
Yeah.
Try pasting. Success. If it's successful, then we need to test, right? And we need to test it if the URL works or not.
Yeah, and not just the URL. Maybe try a test parse, because sometimes feed might get malformed.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason not work, and we don't want, if it's broken, we don't want the bot to basically revisit it every time until it's probably fixed or whatever.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a test parse after we see whether the URL works.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna do test parsing the URL here, and then we have another branch. If it works or not, right? So here's another branch, and we have, if it doesn't work, what happens then?
Then again, we return an error message saying that it's a malformed feed, and somebody should notify the author of the feed. Maybe, be a good internet citizen and everything.
Yeah. Cool. So let's do that. V, what's the? Damn it. I'm gonna unlock this. Okay. Reply back in Discord. Cannot parse. Okay, Kreen actually helped us. So right click. Oh, there we go. Lock. Command Shift L. Yo. Thank you so much.
You're awesome.
You are awesome. Okay. There we go. Reply back in Discord. Cannot parse the feed, right?
Notify the author of the feed or the owner of the feed or something like that, or try again later because
Yeah.
sometimes the internet breaks for unknown reasons.
Yeah, etc. We'll just say etc. We'll figure that out later.
Yeah.
Okay. So if the testing fails, that is. Okay, so if this operation fails, then this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
If not, we're gonna do something else. Do we wanna expand on this?
What? I'm not sure we do because that's basically the only thing. If the URL works and the feed is parsable, that's all of the testing we need to basically determine that okay, this feed we can use, and we are going to give it to the cron job to do whatever later.
Yeah. Okay, cool. We add an arrow here. If we can successfully parse the URL, then we just add it to the SQL, right? It works. We can parse it, and we're gonna add the full URL.
Yeah, the one that we know, and probably keep a name of the web page with the domain name.
With some metadata.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a full URL and metadata to DB.
Yeah.
Very nice. We're gonna have to define the tables as well later.
Oh yeah, for sure. Totally forgot about that. Not a database guy, but hey, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Okay, so we're adding the full URL. Do we want to post anything? Not like a successful or something like that. Do we want to post the last?
You mean automatically just reuse the whole CPU cycle to get something usable back?
Yeah, like I'm adding something. Here's the right.
Yeah, latest post. Yeah, why not? I mean, it makes sense. It's frugal to do it and not waste request cycles and all that.
So the user, for example, so I know if I see a post in my channel, oh man, channels. We need to figure that out as well. Like where do we post? But yeah, basically when I add a feed, I guess I want to know, right? I guess I want to know when it works. If I see a post from that feed, and I'll know that everything works, so we're good to go. Yeah, let's do that. And let's also figure out post last item.
Yeah, well, not last. Sometimes they tend to be unordered. Maybe the most recent because some RSS feeds will have to sort manually.
Yeah, it's XML, right? So post most recent item in Discord. Cool, and this is basically where we end with the API handler, right? Cool. What was the end? Like, what was the ending? I think it was like a full circle.
Yeah, right? It was a circle. End of process, I think. And I'm not sure, but all of the branches should end up in that, or I'm not sure how. It was a while ago since I did this, so
yeah, something like this, right?
Yeah.
There we go. This looks way better. Okay. If we reach this point, then we are done with the execution here.
Yep.
Done. Make it large. Put it here. Cool. Okay. I like this.
Yeah, looks defined. I don't see any, obvious issues. We'll find something along the way for sure, but
totally
looks good.
So let's figure out I think that would be like a command, or how do we tell the bot congratulations, it's done, right? Okay, how do we tell the bot in which channel it needs to post in? Wait a minute.
Yep.
You know what? I had an idea.
Yep.
So let me see. I'm gonna do this. There we go. Y'all see the screen? Yeah. So my idea was I have a category of RSS feeds. Let me zoom in just so you can see. I have a category of RSS feeds, right? And I have front end inside. My idea was to, when we're actually, hey P-Dosh, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. So when we're adding a feed, I want to say, okay, I'm gonna add Adam Argyle's feed and post that to the front end, and I'm gonna add, I don't know, someone else's feed but post that to the back end, because that's like a, that's like a back
Oh,
end.
you mean like
Uh,
subscribe to different, subscribe the bot, or rather not subscribe, but
yeah,
define multiple channels as outputs to the bot defined on certain
yeah, and
categories?
that's exactly what I have in my feed application, right? I have like front end,
Mm-hmm.
and for example, here's the Ben Myers, right? Brad Frost. These Adam Argyle. These are all front end guys.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a DevRel, so I have a few DevRel posts as well. Some brands like, I don't know, Netlify, Sentry, Fly, Vercel. These are branded blogs that I want to be updated for. And there's some like miscellaneous as well, like Adi Osmani, Bleeding Edge. I don't know what is this, Industrial Empathy, right?
Yeah.
So basically, these are our channels, and these are the feeds that we have inside.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to have either commands for that, or when we first
Yeah,
add the bot. Let's think about for a second, how do we add a bot to a Discord server in the first place?
we just
Uh,
invite it. We
yeah.
just invite the guy. But check this out.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Channel, an existing channel. Yes, because that should probably work with the slots, or I'm not sure whether they were called slots, but there's a way that you can name input fields for subscribing to bots, and
yeah,
they basically translate to variables, and you can probably define that as a channel that already exists on a certain server. So that
yeah.
makes sense.
So if it's available for us to pick, like when we send the message, can we pick which channel as a bot? I believe we can. I mean, it's like a core functionality of bots,
I would
posting
say
messages to
yes.
certain.
That's
Yeah,
probably just a matter of defining an enum somewhere. I'm not sure whether we can make them predefined in terms of the
yeah,
Discord bot, but we can do something about it for sure.
yeah. So channel, if it's defined, right? But check this out. I want to add another command.
All right.
Default channel, and then the channel. Okay, so like
Mm-hmm.
I wanna edit. I just want, like, my Discord is simple, so I just want one channel. Basically, post everything, all of the feeds, post them here. So I don't need to provide this this argument every time I want to add a feed, right?
Yeah.
Just so it's streamlined. So in
Yeah.
case there is no, like, if there's no I mean, of course, now we're gonna expand on this diagram to figure out if there is no channel as an argument, but then also no default channel as well. So yeah, it'll expand on it, but it's okay, right? I mean, I like the flow.
Yeah. That sounds good. That's probably the only thing missing that we had for the subscribe thing. I'm not sure whether there's a way of, when you're inviting the bot to, I'm sure I saw some pop-up windows that had some very basic config stuff defined in them for bots. But yeah, we can probably get to that later. I'm getting ahead of myself now.
No, it's all right. Yeah. Okay, but like, let's see. How do we change the channel? Is that a case that we want to support, or we just
Oh,
unsubscribe and subscribe again, and like,
yeah, that's the long route, I guess. But having a change channel to which it's something out, the bot outputs something
yeah,
to, would probably a good thing for a second version, because that way
Yeah,
we're going very much into over
it's a
engineering
nice to have. Yeah.
territory. Yeah.
That's definitely not nice to have, but it's not a must have. I mean, we can go around. I can just do unsubscribe, I'll pass the domain and then subscribe again, and that's it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. What did we do? We had another slash default channel, and we just set it. We just set the channel. So I believe for the rest of these, we're not gonna be needing anything special, right? Or like to like the whole functionality is here.
Yeah. The default channel is, let's first probably split them in inputs and outputs, because the outputs are going to be very much dead simple, just a command and something that should, be spit back into the
What do you mean?
channel. Have lists and refresh feeds would basically be just one of commands.
Yeah.
Or no, let's start simple. Let's go with just list. List is send a command, get an output back. There are no branches, there's no nothing essentially. Just if there's internet, this is going to work. So let's
Yeah.
go maybe in order of complexity.
Okay, sounds good. Hold on, just give me a second. If you want, you can try, drawing something.
Sure. Let's try and see how much I suck at this thing. I mean, I've used this before, but let's go this. We can probably reuse the entirety of this thing. Change this thing over to what was it called? List / list. Do we want something else in there, or just list should be sufficient?
I think just list would make sense.
That's fine. Okay, let's. How do I select the big rectangle thingy? Or I can draw a new one, I guess.
Yeah,
that also works. So that in turn hits the /list API handler. And the process here would be, we don't have to figure anything out. We just have to query. I don't have to query the database for all the subscribed records. One question here.
Yeah.
Do we want to filter this per channel, give it some context maybe, or a list is list?
That's a good question. Why don't we just group everything, like group them by channel? So like we can, the message itself, oh man, but if we do that, it means that we're sending one message, but Discord also has a limit on the message, right?
Also true.
So what do we do? It's lines. Oh, it's not lines, it's actually characters. Well, then we can do
characters.
Yeah, we can do like a section dash channel name and then like a sub lists of the feeds that have been, subscribed to that channel.
Or we could do the smartest thing and
Okay.
provide basically a URL back. We don't have to print them out in the channel, but we can embed them via URL or something like that. That probably wouldn't count as a message. Send a URL back as an embed. Discord crawls it and then lists whatever in JSON format or something like that.
Oh,
it's a hack.
You mean like open an HTML, right? Send them a link.
Yeah,
damn.
Send them a link back to a URL somewhere, and that URL contains a JSON or something, which Discord embeds the descriptions of anyway. So that way we don't waste precious characters.
True. We can try that, right? So the embed itself is gonna show everything.
Yeah, pretty much. So
nice. Okay.
Let's probably go with that. This step remains the same. Then the following step to that is there wouldn't be any branching. The response would basically amount to here's a URL with the list in JSON format, maybe. And then hopefully, this is very speculative, but we'll see. The next step of the process would be then Discord, hopefully, yeah, hopefully crawls URL and shows the list. Thus, we save characters.
Yeah.
And then we have done. Let's do a smart thinking. Oh, control doesn't work. That's interesting. So we have this thing. Maybe we make this a bit longer so that, and yes,
Dunzo.
and yeah,
Okay.
we have
this
list.
is yeah. I think this is cool. This works. I'm curious to see what other formats. For example, you mentioned like we can embed JSON, but what else? Like can we embed, I don't know, Markdown? Can we
Yeah.
embed these kind
Yeah,
of
it
things?
does Markdown. You probably remember that there's a character limit to the messages anyway, and anything
Yeah.
past that, it basically compresses into a file. And I've noticed that it
Oh.
sort of understands Markdown, sort of. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a reason for that not to work in reverse. There is a Markdown parser in there, so it should be fine.
Yeah. But wait, if it automatically does that, why don't we just, instead of doing JSON, why don't we just send out the whole, payload and see what happens? We can test it out.
Sure. I'm gonna remove the JSON. In what format are we returning it? In like HTML? What are we just raw HTML?
Just plain text, I guess.
Plain text works.
Yeah. So I'm thinking something like this. So we have feeds. We'll have the, I don't know, front end, right? And then we inside we'll have, I don't know, NicoleVlazar.com, what else do we have? Someone else. .com, etc. And then we have a different, okay, let me just align this, yeah. And then we have, I don't know, backend. And then some other feeds, right?
Yeah.
Backendgang.com, I don't know, PHP crew.com, etc. So this would be the texts that we send back. So just like, here's the channel.
Yeah.
These feeds post to this channel, right? And we can do that. In even like down the road, we can also do this list front end, so it only returns this part.
Yeah, so basically just an input here somewhere in the payload.
Yeah.
So that it filters them on channel. And maybe even later on, if we figure out a smart way to do it, we could default to just listing them for the channel they're requested in.
Yeah. Okay. I think this will work. Very nice.
There's a question from Crean, like, how can you flag which one is which?
What do you mean?
Not sure. Probably it refers to how do we differentiate on the feeds, like when we request the listing. But I think we already answered that while we were developing this.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Just the channel. Yo, Andre, how's it going?
Yo.
Like, how can you flag which one belongs to front end and the back end? Yeah, DB. We'll just, we'll put all the metadata inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have a metadata. I'm not sure if it's going to be like a 1 or 2 tables, but for every feed that we are actively subscribed to, there's going to be there's going to be a relationship to one metadata object or like entry into our database. And that's going to have the channel name. That's going to have the title, maybe even the, let's see, let's open Discord again. Maybe we can even add, actually not. I was thinking like the icon, but there's nowhere. Like it catches the icon, as you can see here. It can parse it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it
that's
just
the favicon, I think.
yeah, the fav icon. Here's Josh, his fav icon. So
Mhm.
yeah, this will totally work because it's it's a URL anyways. So this will this is good. And they'll we'll define the metadata later on. We have like 5 more minutes, right? What can we do for 5 minutes?
Two things, like maybe we can decide, because this sort of like stayed with me, but we moved on. We decided on Node.js, but we haven't decided on like what kind of a framework or whatever we're gonna
What
use. Whether
Node.js? Yeah. I don't
Express or
have any
Fastify or whatever the hell. Like,
Yeah, I don't have any opinions. I worked with Node before without any frameworks. I
Mhm.
worked with a custom framework. I haven't worked with Fastify.
Fastify is fun. If you've done stuff with Express, you're gonna feel
Yeah.
right at home with Fastify, but it's not that, let's call it, manual. There are many, same defaults. Sort of. We
Yeah.
could try that. We could go with that.
Okay, so we can import Fastify from Fastify, create this, and then we can just do .get, etc., and all these. Yeah, all our routes. Fastify. Listen, how's the architecture on this? For example, we export Fastify and we create our own folders and we do .get, etc. post.
Yeah, we could go for that. That makes sense because it's small enough for that, and we don't
Yeah.
have to go anything fancy like GraphQL or whatever. REST
Yeah.
should be more than enough. Or like, to the REST purists out there, this would be an HTTP API. Just let me put that out.
Yeah.
Not to offend anybody and stuff.
I like this, What was the other one with the cat logo? I mean, this one has a cat logo, but there was the other one with a cat logo. This is a wildcat. What was that one? What was the name? That worked on top of controllers.
Oh, you mean Nest.js?
Nest.js.
Yes.
Not Next. Nest.
Nest, which is a very like backend
Yeah.
focused thing. I mean,
This one.
it's nice. It's not bad. It's very
Yeah.
like class oriented and stuff, and decorated
Yeah,
and
check it
so
out.
forth. And it's
Classes
cool, I
and
guess,
stuff.
but not my style for the most part. We could go with that. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I'm fine with going out of my comfort zone. So pick whatever you like.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's go with Fastify. I think it's like I like this. Create an instance of it and then export it, so you can define your routes in a different file if you want.
Yeah, for sure.
This works. Yeah, let's put it in the stone tablet. So Fastify. We're gonna be using Fastify, of course. SQLite is here. You know what? I'm gonna switch these places.
Mm-hmm. And like
or just Node.js,
sure.
just like
Yeah, like
Okay.
Node.js is implied past that point. So
Yeah.
cool.
It's Fastify, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This is all. I mean, of course, we're gonna be pulling libraries for. There was one for Discord bots. There was one for the RSS feed thingy.
The parser thing, yeah.
Yeah, but we'll figure that out later on.
Yeah.
Okay, this is some progress.
Yeah, we did a lot of stuff today. Actually, we defined 2 whole endpoints. Like, imagine that.
Yeah,
It's cool.
I like this. Awesome. All right, so I guess we're at time. You gotta go now.
Yep. Gotta bugger off.
Yo, it was awesome. Thanks for jumping in, and I think this is gonna be a really fun project.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for inviting me. I haven't done this in quite a while, and it's sort of very enjoyable to be back. So thank you for having me once again, and I look forward to doing more of it.
It's gonna be so fun. All right, guys. Thanks for everyone who gave it a follow, and yeah, I'll see you. I don't know. These streams are gonna be organic. So why don't you just join my Discord? Creatures.nikolovlazar.com. Why don't you just join my Discord, and yeah, we'll post there when we're